All right, finally, we are at UFC 300 fight week. It's been a long, grueling road to get here. We had some rough Apex cards, tons of drama and things happen. But in terms of just top class, just events that we wanted and waited for, this is the pinnacle of it. UFC 300, an amazing card, a stacked card. This is the event and vibes that we've been wanting for a while, all right? And it took us a couple of, slow events to get there after 299, but we're here. So let's get into 300. Let's dive right into it, each fight at a time. Let's break it down, and I'm just gonna give my predictions, all right? It's either gonna crash and burn, or it's gonna flourish, and we're gonna say, oh, you got him right, or we're gonna be like, oh no, you were wrong, you were dead wrong. So I'm putting myself on the line here. Let's do it. Here are my predictions and thoughts on each matchup for UFC 300. Figueiredo versus Garbrandt. This one, amazing first fight. This is going to make sure that everybody is going to be watching 300 from the start, from the very, very start. And I think they did this on purpose because, if they put maybe another fight on there first, let's say if they put even Bobby Green, Jim Miller, or if they put Holly Holm, Kayla Harrison, right? If that was like the first fight of the night, people might be like, I'm not too interested. I've seen mixed feelings about it. But Figueiredo, Garbrandt, it is fan service to the max. Everybody's going to be tuning in, butts in seats from the get-go. In terms of the matchup, I think this fight's going to be a fire fight. And in the fire, I think right now Figueiredo can handle it more than Garbrandt. And I honestly think Figueiredo is going to knock Cody Garbrandt out. I think it might be early. I think it's going to be round 2. I would say round 2 KO from Figueiredo. I know the Cody fans are going to be upset because there's a lot of just hype around Cody. Of course, people want to see Cody win. But I'm sorry if I'm spoiling the party in some way by saying I think Figueiredo is going to knock him out bad. All right, so Bobby Green, Jim Miller. Bobby Green, a favorite in this fight. I think it's a great veteran matchup. These two guys, it's going to be fun. I don't think it goes the distance. And I think because Bobby Green keeping his hands low, he can be very undisciplined at times. And I think Jim Miller is going to knock him out. I think Jim Miller gets the finish over Bobby Green here. If not, I think it's going to go the other way around. I don't think this fight goes the distance. It's either going to be Bobby Green knocking him out or Jim Miller. I have Jim Miller knocking Bobby Green out in round 3. That's my prediction. That's what I got. So next up, Andrade versus Rodriguez. To me, this is actually a really close fight. I think it goes the distance. And I give a slight edge to Andrade. I think Andrade is going to be able to squeak it out against Rodriguez. If I'm being honest, look, Andrade got finished in her last three times in the last 4 fights. So I could just be like, look, she's not doing too well if you look in that streak there against Rodriguez. But at the same time, UFC 300, the bright lights, the moment, Andrade, I think she's going to perform at her best. She did look good in her last fight. I give Andrade the edge against Rodriguez in the distance, majority decision. Moicano versus Turner, a fantastic lightweight matchup. Two guys who are going to be trying to do opposite things. Moicano is going to try to win on the ground, submit Turner, and Turner is going to, in my opinion, try to piece up Moicano and keep that distance. And for me, I love Moicano. He's so much fun. But if I'm just looking at this matchup, personally, I think Turner is going to keep this fight on the feet. And because of that, he's really going to piece up Moicano and probably finish him. I say in round 3, Turner gets the finish against Moicano. And it sucks for me to say, like, I love Moicano, but I can't not see Turner just piecing up Moicano. I don't think Moicano is going to be able to get Turner to the ground often and keep him there. So I think Turner's going to keep this on the feet, pick him apart, and land some bombs on Moicano late and finish the fight in the 3rd round. Oh, I feel bad. I feel bad because I love Money Moicano. This is one of those fights. Look, and if I'm wrong, fine. I don't mind. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Fine. I'm okay with that. But that's just, I just see it going that way. I just do. All right, this fight's going to be another amazing scrap. I already know. A lot of these fights, in my opinion, like, you just know what's going to go down with these two guys. All right, Lopes and Yusuff is going to be a barn burner, and I can't not go with Lopes. Diego Lopes, I'm a big fan of him. I think it's going to be back and forth. I think this could be anybody's fight, but I'm giving it to Diego Lopes. He's going to make his statement at 300, and a lot of newer fans, a lot of fans that haven't seen him on cards before, they're going to be like, yo, I love this guy. I love Diego Lopes. And I think this is the moment for him to really capture that, and I think he will. All right, Holly Holm versus Kayla Harrison. If I'm being completely honest, I actually don't think this fight happens. I just don't see Kayla Harrison making the weight. I just don't. I'm like, there's no way she makes the weight. And if she does, she's going to be so depleted, so drained. She's not going to be that champion that we know that she is in the PFL, in the Olympics, etc. I just don't see Kayla Harrison at her best because of the weight in this fight. I honestly think Holly Holm beats her up. I think Holly Holm finishes Kayla Harrison. Kayla Harrison has basically never fought at this weight. I really do think Holly Holm has a huge advantage in this fight, and she's going to finish Kayla Harrison. Like, they said that they did a test with her, but that test wasn't her going down to 135. It's just testing to see if her body could go to 135, right? They did the same test with Aljamain Sterling. My official prediction would be Holly Holm by knockout in round 2. Kattar versus Sterling. Now, this is super interesting. Sterling's moving up the featherweight. It could be scary because you're facing a guy like Kattar who could really put some damage on you on the feet. But that being said, Aljamain not having to cut that much weight, he could still be in great shape still and be even stronger than what he was at bantamweight. And can that translate? I think personally, based on what I've seen from Sterling, I think that his weight will translate to featherweight and he can really have some solid power at this weight class. Now, is he going to be knocking people out like he's kind of saying that he could? I don't think he's going to be knocking out people like Kattar. I don't think he's going to finish Kattar on the feet. But I do think his strength is going to translate where I think Sterling is going to control Kattar. And I think it'll be a classic vintage Sterling performance where he holds Kattar down, he gets that backpack, and possibly gets the finish. If I'm making an official prediction, I would say Sterling, 3rd round submission against Kattar. I don't think he's going to knock him out. And I don't think Kattar is going to knock out Sterling just because I think Sterling's going to be able to get this fight to the ground in the clinch. I don't think he's going to give Kattar a lot of opportunities, especially after that Sean O'Malley fight. He's not going to give Kattar opportunities to really swing and go for the fence and knock out Sterling. But to me, this is one of the most intriguing matchups at 300. And it's a big fight for both guys, honestly. It's a really big fight for them. A lot of stakes. I think both these guys are really going to show up at their best. Here we go. Last fight of the prelims. We got Prochazka versus Rakic. To me, this is a very dangerous fight on both sides, especially for Yuri coming off that Alex loss. And we know this about Yuri. He leaves himself very vulnerable. When he's moving forward, doing damage, there's always opportunities for his opponent to really crack him. And he's been hit before. He's been a little bit wobbled before, we've seen. But that being said, I think Prochazka, especially coming off that loss, I think he's going to be really sharp. He had that, the ring rust is gone, per se. I think he's going to have a great performance against Rakic. I think he wins by decision. But Rakic by KO wouldn't be a big surprise in my opinion, or even Rakic just to win by decision. It's not a surprise at all. I think this is a very close fight. I'm leaning towards Prochazka. I think Prochazka gets it done by decision, but very dangerous fight. Very dangerous fight. All right, Nickel versus Brundage. I'm going to say next. Okay. Oliveira versus Tsarukyan. Look, I got to be honest. I have bias here. I'm a huge Oliveira fan. I think Oliveira gets it done. I think Tsarukyan is so dangerous, though. Like, Tsarukyan is very dangerous. We saw what he did against Beneil Dariush. I think he could give Oliveira problems with the takedowns. But that being said, Oliveira is so versatile on his back when he's on top. In the striking as well, he's so versatile and unpredictable at times, right? And even if you hurt Oliveira, that's not enough. We've seen it lately with this run of Oliveira, how badly he wants it. He's shown emotion, like he wants this back so bad. And we saw that with the Dariush fight. He's willing to get in the fire. He is not afraid to get hurt or be in vulnerable positions against, anybody. We saw against Dariush, he was on his back for a little while. As soon as he gets up, right back at Dariush and gets the job done. I think something similar could happen against Tsarukyan. Tsarukyan's tough as hell. I think Oliveira gets it done by finish against Tsarukyan. That's a fan bias speaking, but Oliveira, shotties. I'm low-key manifesting it. All right, I admit. That being said, could this be another Makhachev fight for Oliveira, right? Where he counters him and then takes him down and controls him and then eventually leads to a finish. That is not out of the question, but I'm throwing it out of the question, all right? All right, Gaethje Holloway for the BMF belt. One of the most anticipated fights on the card, if not the most anticipated fight on the card. This fight I've been really conflicted on and debating because on one hand, everything's telling me in my head, look, Gaethje has the power advantage, right? Holloway's not going to defend those leg kicks all fight long. He's going to really hurt Holloway. Moving up in this weight class, Gaethje has been sharp and powerful Gaethje has been sharp as hell in this recent run. We saw what he did to Fiziev, etc. We just saw what he did with Dustin Poirier. Gaethje is in really in that groove right now. And can Holloway, first of all, take the damage from Gaethje, right? If he lands on him, which he probably will, because Holloway takes a lot of damage. Secondly, the leg kicks, right? That's going to be a massive problem for Holloway. But that being said, what I've seen from Holloway in these clips, in these videos that I'm seeing from him recently, he's really bulking up to lightweight properly. He's really trying to do this the right way this time. And I think a lot of people are going to be surprised by Holloway too. Like, he's a very smart fighter, especially offensively too. He's tricky, right? I think he can land some shots on Gaethje. The problem is that people are saying is he going to be able to damage Gaethje enough where Gaethje is going to be afraid to engage with Holloway? And it's true, like, I don't know. A big part of me thinks that people are underestimating Max Holloway in this fight, but at the same time, I still think Gaethje gets it done. He just has too many advantages on paper against Holloway with the power and the leg kicks, and I think that's how this fight's going to go. Gaethje's going to get it done. I don't think he finishes Holloway, but it is possible. All right, Weili versus Xiaonan. This fight, I really hope this fight is close and back and forth, but I think Weili is just so damn good right now. I don't think anyone right now is on her level at strawweight. I think Weili gets it done by finish, specifically on the ground. I think she's going to take Xiaonan down and finish her there. I think Weili lately has been so smart, so tactical in her approach, and she's going to take the smart way in this fight and get it done. All right, now the main event, Pereira versus Hill. You know, the fight that was supposed to be for 301, the fight that, you know, they kind of rushed, you could say, for this main event, but nonetheless, it is fantastic. And in my opinion, there's a lot of factors in this fight. One, Pereira, again, a guy who leaves himself vulnerable in engagement, and Hill is a guy that I think could counter and potentially really hurt Pereira. And I think people are underestimating Hill in this fight, but I do think Hill has the ability to hurt Alex on the feet. But if Hill only wants to stay on the feet, then I think that's a problem for him in a 5-round fight. I think Pereira doesn't have to really rush or go for an early finish. I think he has a major advantage there and can possibly just pick Hill apart and get the finish. But that being said, people are underestimating the striking defense of Hill and his ability to hurt Pereira. And I think it's very possible on both ends. So it's a very dangerous fight for both guys. But that being said, the main factor for me, honestly, is just looking at Hill. Is he in the best shape of his life? I don't think so, if I'm being honest. He's still coming off that Achilles injury. It hasn't been that long. It hasn't even been a full year, if we're being honest, right? And he's coming into this huge fight, ring rust, etc., against a guy who's been on a roll. Not only has he been super active, he has been steam hot since that loss to Adesanya, right? So to me, looking at Hill, is he in the best shape? And also, how serious, I don't want to say how serious he's taking this fight, but a lot of people are questioning him, making these videos. That being said, I don't think people should look into those TikToks and videos that he's doing so seriously, but I am unsure if he's in the best shape and ready for a fight against Pereira, who is specifically on a roll. My prediction, though, I think Pereira gets it done by decision. And that wraps up my UFC 300 breakdown and prediction. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts on the fights. How much do you agree with me? How much do you disagree with me? Let me know, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.